En die non vat vanaand oor, want ek hoor mos gereeld ek is bossie, so ja. Nee, ons joke, sy is net besig met ietsie baie belangrik. So julle sal nou maar moet tevrede wees met my gesiggie en met Isel se gesiggie. En Isel was braaf genoeg om te sê sy sal haar storie vertel oor haar abusive relationship. So dit is nog baie vars, dit is nog baie seer. So ons vra vir support en understanding and some compassion terwyl sy haar storie vertel. En hopelik kan iemand anders haar storie hoor en maak dit 'n verskil vir iemand anders. Okay, so we welcome Survive and Thrive, and we thank her for being prepared to tell a story. Whenever you're ready, you can tell your story of your previous relationship and what happened and your journey that you went through.
I actually don't even know where to start. I wasn't prepared for this. But I got divorced last year from a husband who was very emotionally unattached. 12 years with him. So things happened, we got divorced, and I think I felt the need of feeling loved and cared for, and that's why I fell for this. I met a guy, and he seemed to be like something sent from heaven. He said all the right words, he did all the right things, he was so caring. We were friends for a few months before we actually started dating, and I really didn't pick up anything strange or weird about his behavior. And then eventually I started liking him a lot, and we started dating, and the beginning of our relationship was heaven. Every single day Are
you okay? Take your time.
So every day I basically asked myself how it was possible for me to find the exact same person that I asked for. In December 2020, I wrote a letter where I basically wrote down every single thing that I felt I needed and wanted in a man and in a life partner. And obviously, I didn't realize it, as he's a narcissist and I didn't know anything about it. While we were only being friends, he studied me. He asked questions, and I told him these things without realizing it. So at the end of the day, he became exactly what I wanted and needed, and I thought that I found this perfect person until one day he came to visit, and from the day before until the next day, he was just a complete different person. He walked through my house, didn't even greet me, to check if somebody was in my house, and I asked him what he was doing, and he said he wanted to see if somebody else was here, and I said to him nobody was here except for me. And he asked me, well, then why is your pajamas on the bed and not in the bathroom? I said, I don't know. So that's when it started, but I didn't actually see the signs. I didn't realize that it was a red flag. And then it escalated from there, where I had to literally tell him when I would want to leave for the shop, I would have to tell him, send him a message and say, I'm going to Checkers now. When I get there, I would have to tell him that I'm at Checkers now. When I leave there, the same. When I get back home, the same. And then I would get a video call to prove that I'm at home. And that was, according to him, just because he cared about my safety. So still then I thought, wow, this guy cared so much. In the meantime, it was just him grooming me to become submissive so that he can have control over me all the time.
And how long did it take you to realize that something was wrong?
Quite a few months, actually. I think around 4 months, but I was still in denial. I still thought that maybe he just has childhood issues that needs to be resolved and that I can help him. Took him to the doctor, got some medication. The doctor didn't even refer him to a psychiatrist or anything. He just prescribed medication that made him worse. He tried to commit suicide in my house several times. Every time he didn't get his way, or I didn't submit to his requests or didn't play along. Other times he would pretend to drink pills when he didn't get his way, and then pretend to be dead, and I would be freaking out, wanting to call the police, but then he would have hidden my phone, so I wouldn't have any way of contacting anyone. And then he would lie there for half an hour, 45 minutes, and then tell me, oh, this is how you're going to feel when I'm not here anymore.
And then how did that make you feel when he told you that?
I was so angry that I actually broke a broom one night. Because he hid my car keys, he hid my phone. I couldn't call anyone. I thought he was busy dying. Yeah. He then started making romantic gestures to shower together and stuff like that. And I said to him that I don't share that easily, so, it's not going to happen. Went on for a few weeks like that. Then one night he would put candles in the bathroom and said that we're going to shower together. He massaged me, bathed me, shaved my legs, and I thought it was just romantic. After that, I wasn't allowed to bath myself anymore or shower without him.
What do you mean by that?
I would have to shower together with him. I wasn't allowed to shower alone because he had some sort of sick idea that bathing myself is basically touching myself and it's his stuff, not mine. So I would have to shower together with him and he would bathe me. I wasn't allowed to do it myself. It came to a point where I wasn't allowed to dry myself off either. I got infection from that because I was too scared to dry myself off properly. Because he would say that, why are you drying yourself off so much? Are you enjoying it? And stuff like that. So I literally got an infection because I wasn't able to dry myself off properly.
I'm so sorry about that.
I would wake up sometimes at night with him pulling the blankets off me, trying to see where my hands are. Because when I would turn over in my sleep, he would have the idea and he said that I might be touching some part of my body, and both my hands should be on him all the time when we were watching TV, when I was sleeping. Yeah.
And what happened during the times that you watched TV? Was there certain things that you were allowed to watch or not?
Nothing above age restriction 13. So basically only family movies. He would get, we would watch a movie and then two people would start kissing and then he would literally get up in a rage and get angry and start a fight with me as if I made the movie and said that it's inappropriate and it's private and shouldn't be on TV. So I eventually cancelled my Netflix and Showmax subscriptions just to avoid fights.
And what did he accuse you of then? Well, like you said, it was like you made the movie. So what accusations were thrown your way?
It wasn't really accusations with the movies, but if I didn't like close my eyes or something, he would accuse me that I enjoyed watching other people kissing and stuff like that, and that it's the same as pornography, according to him. So he would basically be angry at, I don't know even what, but he would take it out on me.
And how do you think you changed as a person because of the relationship you were in?
I literally lost all my self-confidence. I wasn't allowed to greet people when we were out in a restaurant or something that he didn't like, and he didn't like anybody greeting me. Even when I had a conversation with his mother or with my mother or my father, he would get angry because my attention is not with him and that according to him, other people are more important than him. So I just stopped communicating with my friends. I stopped talking to them, and if somebody sent me a message during the day, I deleted it before I got home because I was scared of a fight.
And what would happen if there was a fight?
The first time he threw me into my car, jumped on top of me, strangled me, bit me in my face, and shouted, and then eventually calmed down. I got such a fright, I didn't expect it. So I didn't even do anything. I didn't even say anything. I didn't know what to say. The second time, that about a month passed, and then we went for dinner one day at a pub and grill. And I asked the barman a question, and because I asked the barman a question, according to him, I was flirting with that guy. When we got home, he started fighting with me and said that it was inappropriate the way I spoke to the barman. And he went on for about an hour, and eventually I just said, you know what, I want to get up from the bed. I'm not doing this anymore. And when I got up, he jumped off the bed. He lifted the whole bed with me on it. My food went everywhere. I then jumped up to run out of the room, and then he threw me against the cupboard door, slammed a hole through the door, started strangling me, hitting me with a fist, banging my head against the wall, threw me downstairs, and then when I started shouting from panic because I didn't expect it, he literally picked me up and threw me in a bath of cold water because I'm worked up and I need to calm down, with blood dripping from my bum where I fell and it burst open. Yeah. Other times he would throw me against the floor, jump on top of me, and start strangling me. A few times I passed out when he strangled me. Twice I wet myself. and then tell me that he would rather kill me before I left him.
So this happened after only a few months of dating, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, the time he threw me against my car and then bit me in the face was about 4 months after we started dating.
And then what went through your mind? What was your justification for his actions at that stage?
At that stage, there wasn't any. I That night I just went to sleep because you're scared. You don't know what to do. You feel embarrassed to phone someone. Um, so I went to work the next day and I sent him a message and said to him that I don't want anything to do with him anymore. And he started explaining and gaslighting me, crying, phoning me constantly, telling me that he didn't know what came over him, and that is not who he is, and that he's willing to go to a doctor to work on his issues and all that.
Okay.
So
And did he
I
ever
ignored
go?
him. Sorry?
Did he ever go? Did he keep his promises?
At times, after that time, it actually, he didn't, he wasn't violent with me for quite a while after that. Um, let's say about 2 months. He wasn't violent with me. He would like press my leg when I angered him or press my arm or something like that, but he didn't strangle or hit me. And then the one night I was sitting on my bed and he just started getting angry because I wasn't sitting with him outside where he was working. Came in, stormed at me and started shouting at me. Eventually I went to sit outside and I said to him, I've really got a headache, please, I just want to go inside. Came back inside, lay down on the bed. When he came in and realized that I fell asleep, he started shaking me to wake up and said that I'm selfish and that he has to work outside alone and I'm sleeping and I don't even care about him. Took his stuff and left. Went to a bar drinking. Then later phoned me and said that he's on his way home, and I said, well, sorry, I'm not at my house anymore. Um, I'm going out, so you can do whatever you want. He literally went through the whole town to look for me, found me, forced me to come home. And when I got home, he started fighting and shouting, slapped me a few times, strangled me. And then I decided I'm not going to take it. I said to him, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to react to your violence. And I literally just got in my bed, pulled the blankets over my head and started crying. He went outside and hung himself because I don't care. So obviously when he jumped off the chair, he screamed. I went outside. I couldn't get him off the rope. I later tried to put my hand in between the rope and his neck to try and lessen the strain on his neck. That hurt him more. I don't know how I got the power to actually lift him and get the rope off his head because it was so tight. He fell to the floor. He was grey in the face. And I was so angry at that stage that I slapped him because I thought he was dead. It took him about 5 minutes to come around, and 5 minutes after that, he just started fighting again. Because now the fight was about me getting into bed while I knew he said that he was going to commit suicide and I didn't care about him. Yeah. And what an ugly person I am for not having any feelings for other people.
Sorry, I'm talking to you, but I'm
Woke my
on mute.
neighbor. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was talking to you, but I was on mute.
Oh, sorry.
So, no, it's fine. Now, I asked you, like, even after all the pain he caused you and everything you went through, you still tried to save his life. Doesn't that give
Yes.
you some mixed feelings in that moment? Because you said directly after that he started fighting with you again.
Yep. You start fighting with yourself the whole time. Because after that, obviously, he started fighting again, and the only thing I thought of was maybe I should have just left him there. And then you feel bad because you're a nasty person because you want someone dead. Because you
Pastor
know you
Dries
will
is
keep going
asking,
back.
Pastor Dries is asking, are you really bad? Are you still with him?
No. 2
Are you
months,
not
no
with him?
contact. No. He tried sending me all kinds of songs and messages, sent me messages after I left him the last time. On the 22nd of September, I left him for the last time. And I just, at that stage, I was just at a point where I realized that I cannot fix him. No one can help him. He will just keep ruining my life, ruining other people's lives, ruining his own life. And that I just gave up and said, I'm sorry, but this is now done. And then when he sent me messages, I literally just told him the whole time. Every time I said to him, you cannot manipulate me anymore. I don't fall for your tricks anymore. Leave me alone. And he eventually stopped.
So before you got to
He
that
still
point,
stalks me.
yeah, that's what they do. Um,
Yeah.
before you got to the point where you said enough is enough, how many chances did you give him? How many times did you go back? How many times did he come back?
In the last month, from the 18th of August until the 22nd of September, 3 chances.
And
Only in that
this is
month.
after a relationship of how long?
14 months.
What were you hoping for by taking him back?
Every time it was the promises of actually, he was referred by, and my mom paid for a doctor, for him to see a doctor, because she actually also felt sorry for him with his depression and all that. And the doctor referred him to a psychiatrist. She said that she can't help him. He needs a psychiatric doctor. He refused to see that because the doctor told him that he needs to be admitted immediately and that his problems are bigger than any doctor can help him or any pill can help him, and that he's going to end up in jail or dead if he doesn't make a plan. So obviously, every time I took him back, he promised to actually go to a psychiatric facility and all that and get his stuff sorted out. I believed him every time. It would go well for a week or two, and then the issues and his mind literally plays tricks with him 24 hours a day. He would wait for me to fall asleep and then go on my phone to see if I am not cheating on him or doing things that I wasn't allowed to or against his rules. I heard it every day, every morning. You have to be a good girl today. Don't break any rules. Don't do anything that I don't allow. I heard it every single day. And then
And then
As soon as
Sorry.
the
Yes.
first time he got aggressive about something, then he would say the problem, he's not the one with the problem, I'm the one with the problem. I'm too sensitive and I just don't understand his feelings. Thank you,
So,
Pastor Dries.
yeah, everybody's very supportive. Techno Elf says, sorry that you went through all this pain. You deserve so much better. Um, much love. And then you saw the one
Thank
for
you.
Pacifics. So do you think that you did something wrong that triggered this in him? Um, was there any other relationships that he handled better, or do you think it was all on
No,
you?
I thought so. I thought it was only me for a very long time. The first time we had an argument, which wasn't really anything serious. We just had like words. We were dating for about a month. Then he told me that he's got a heart condition, that he's got an enlarged heart, and when he gets upset and stuff, he has a chance of getting a heart attack. Promised to show me all the reports and the doctor's stuff and everything, and he played literally with that on my feelings for a good 8 months. And then me and his ex-girlfriend, who is the mother of his first child, started getting along very well. And obviously she started talking to me because she thought she was the only one. And I realized that I'm not the only one. And I said to her, well, tell me a bit more about what happened in your relationship. And it was all exactly the same issues, the same fights, the same mind games, the same tricks he played on her. He also faked the heart condition with her. And then that's when I started realizing something is very, very, very wrong with this guy. And then when I started like forcing him to go to a psychiatrist and stuff. We then started getting along very well and started sharing stories. And I think that actually eventually helped me to realize that I'm not the one who's wrong. I'm not the one who's triggering him, because he would tell me, if you didn't do this, then I wouldn't do that. Or if you didn't react like this, then I wouldn't have hit you. He did the same with her. The only thing with her is she was a lot more afraid of him than I was. I've got a much stronger personality, so I actually stood up to him where she didn't. She also had to see a psychiatrist afterwards. Her daughter had to see a psychiatrist afterwards. Her daughter, or his daughter, hated him when we started dating, and he told me that it was because they were making her up against him. So I literally, every single time I would have the money to take him to her, I would take him to her, book in a guest house, let them spend time together. I spent time with her, helped him to actually have a relationship with his daughter. And then obviously when I started realizing what it was about and why she hated her dad so much, I realized it's because she saw the things he did to her mom.
So it was
And
only
then
the
when we broke, no, when we broke off, when I left him the last time, I actually started reaching out to his exes. And what I know of, I'm the fourth one. Exactly the same reasons why he beats them up or us up, everything. Everything is exactly the same reasons, same ideas he has in his head. He would tell me that some of those ideas came from his ex and his ex. It wasn't, because he did it with him as well. He dated a girl in 2017 and literally broke a glass on her leg in public because she greeted someone. Her
so
and I have become very good friends. She is a lovely lady. She got married last year. She also had to see a psychiatrist. And I just found out on Friday that he was still stalking her in this year while we were dating.
I don't think that is something that will ever end with a narcissist. So
Finally,
is he still alive? Is he single? What is happening? You don't have any contact with him? What do you know about him?
he jumped into bed with another woman 2 days after we broke off. They are now dating. She has contacted me. He's already started, actually, with their relationship. He started the manipulating and the possessiveness very early on. Something he didn't do with me in the beginning. He would phone her and ask her, where are you? She'd say, I'm at home. He did exactly the same with me. And then he would say, are you sure? And then call her to make sure that she's at home. And they were dating for 2 weeks when that happened. So it was literally like 2.5 weeks after we broke off. But she left him and took him back again. And yeah, their relationship are the same as the rest of the four of us that I know of. I don't know if he's got violent with her yet, or beat her yet, or strangled her yet, because I don't have contact with him. But
Why do
the
you think his
manipulative...
actions were? Why do you think his actions were different with her than with you?
I've got no idea.
Why did he
I've
start
got no
so
idea. I
early
wish I
on
knew.
with the possessiveness and controlling?
That's something I still need to learn. It boggles my mind. Because he started acting like that literally when we were dating for about 3 months. He would start asking questions like, where are you? Or things like that. Not in the beginning at all. So I've
And
got
this
no
lady,
idea.
is she like a strong-willed woman? Because I know you were a very strong-willed woman and you're a go-getter. So this lady, is she the same? Does he have a type? What
Um,
is the type for a narcissist, would you say?
when I showed her the pictures of him beating me up and the messages where he explained and said sorry and all that, because I knew from my own experience, if somebody just tells you this in the beginning, you won't believe them. So I literally showed her what I've got left. He deleted a lot of stuff, so most of it I don't have, but I do still have stuff that I emailed to myself before he could get to it. She said to me, he wouldn't dare try something like that with me. I will put him in his place very quickly. And I said to her, well, that's what I always said. And look what happened to me. The type of woman, I don't really think he has a type of woman, because all of us differ a lot. Not one of the five of us have the same type of personality. He definitely goes for women who wants love and affection. Her husband, the one he's with now, her husband left her for her daughter. It's not his child. I think she's 20 years old or something. Then she went into a relationship directly out of that with another guy who she said beat her up. I don't know if it's true or not. Then back to the husband. He left her for a daughter again. And then to my ex, like a week later.
Sure. So it's two broken people that are now together in brokenness.
So, yeah.
What would
He
you
talks to you in the
tell?
beginning and he asks you what you like in men, or what you like in people, or what type of person you are, and he asks about your history and your life, and you tell him, obviously, because he's so open. And that's basically like gathering his ammo, because later on he uses it against you. He literally said to me the one day when we fought, No wonder your ex-husband cheated on you. Look what a bitch you are. Because I stood up against him.
And it's completely different from how he treated you in the beginning.
Yes. Completely. It's 360.
Okay, if you
You live
can
in
give,
denial the whole time because you can't believe that the person you met and fell in love with and spent months together is now this person, and you think that maybe you did something wrong to change him into this person. That's what you think the whole time.
and what do you think now? What is your opinion now?
I fell in love with myself. That's my opinion.
And how did you do that?
Because
If you can give
the person
advice
I
to,
am, the person I am, the way I give affection, the way I treat other people, the way I spoil people, because that's the type of person I am, he mirrored that, and that was obviously I would expect somebody or would like somebody to do the same things that I do, to care as much as I do, to offer as much as I do, and he mirrored me and basically matched me. I literally have messages that I sent him that you are the male version of me and I can't believe that I found you. But it was only myself.
so actually what you're telling me is that everything you loved about him is actually something that you only loved in yourself because he was mirroring you.
Yep. And
And
I
if you
think
can
that's
give,
the
right?
I think that's been my driving point the past month about when I started realizing that is it wasn't him, it was me. And I might as well love myself because I fell in love with myself.
Was that difficult for you to accept?
Yes.
And how did you start loving yourself? Can you give somebody examples of how to love themselves? Somebody who's listening who might need some advice.
So when you get out of a narcissistic relationship, like I said, you don't have a self-esteem anymore. I used to be an entrepreneur, and I motivated so many people into growing their own businesses and stuff. I lost all of that. You've got no self-esteem. So, and narcissists, they train you to literally give every second of your life to them. So I was in a spot where when I left him, I sat at home crying the whole time because I couldn't remember what I did with my time before he came along. Because all my time was his. I was cooking for him, cleaning, pampering him, um, doing all kinds of gifts. Like I literally put small little I love you letters and have a nice day at work letters and stuff in his lunchbox every day. So that's what I spent my time on, was on him, and I couldn't remember what I did with my time before him. And then you can't love yourself because you feel worthless and you feel like you don't have a purpose in this world. You don't have friends anymore. You barely have contact with your family. Um, so who do you turn to? Where do you go to? What do you do? And I had a friend, a very good friend, who actually had to remind me what I did before he came along, and I started doing that. I used to have a pamper day every Sunday, doing a face mask, hair mask, shave my legs, put self-tan on, did my nails, my toenails. I would spend the whole day on myself. And I started doing those things again. And I went to the salon and I did my hair. I cut my hair. The other thing I do is I do everything that he doesn't like. It makes me feel powerful. So he hates a certain hairstyle, and I went 2 weeks ago and I cut my hair exactly the way he doesn't like it. And I would wear things that he doesn't like. And it makes you feel good about yourself, and then you realize I actually do love myself. And I can love myself, and I should love myself. And the more you spend time with yourself and appreciate yourself and treat yourself for what you deserve, the more you start loving yourself. And the more you realize that you don't need someone else to do that for you.
That's awesome. If there's any warning signs that people can look for, I know there's so many different types of narcissists and
Narcissist.
abuse, but if there's anything that you can name that can maybe make somebody a tent of, listen, I might be in trouble now.
First thing is, I have a saying, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but that's how I see it, and it makes me feel better. The devil comes wearing the face of Jesus. When he is too good to be true, believe me, he is too good to be true. Nobody is that perfect. So if he does everything right and nothing irritates you about him, that's the first sign. People differ, and there should always be something that you don't like about someone, because we're not the same. And I couldn't, in the first few months, name one single thing. When they are over, like too lovable, too caring, too protective, that's warning signs. It's not healthy. It's not normal to be that passionate and to be that caring and to be that protective over someone. Second thing is, healthy jealousy is good, but if someone gets angry when someone else greets you in a public place, that's a warning sign. You should be able to be social.
Nikki is also saying here, when he's belittling and negative towards you.
That unfortunately only happens later on. It doesn't happen in the beginning. In the beginning, there's no negative things. He will boost you, or she will boost you and tell you that you're the best thing that they have ever seen or been with. And I was told that I'm the only person in his whole life that ever understood him. That I'm the best person that he's ever met, and he's never met someone as amazing as me. There's like 1,000 things. It was like boosting in the first few months. There was nothing bad. Sweet talkers, yes. That's what he does. Love bombing.
Is there any questions that you have for anybody in the live? Do you have any questions for Survive and Thrive? If you want to jump in the box, just let us know. You are welcome. If you have a story to share, you are welcome. Tell us about your page, if you don't mind, Survive and Thrive.
Okay. So after we broke off, I went down the rails completely. I could barely get myself out of bed to go to work in the morning, and I had to find something to keep me going. And the whole time, the only thing I was thinking about was, it's not going to be long before he's going to the next person, and I'm going to feel guilty because I would have been able to stop it, and how am I going to stop it if it happens? And my brain was going crazy the whole time, and I know how guilty I would feel if I knew somebody else had to go through that and I could have stopped it. So obviously I couldn't voice myself. I still really actually can't, but I'm doing it now because I'm afraid of him and his family. I am. Um, so I started the page to basically get the word out there, give people signs, my experiences, and a bit of motivation for women that they are able to get out. And if there is somebody out there who needs help, they can reach out to me. I'm currently busy with a lady who is struggling to get out of a narcissistic relationship. On speed dial, 24 hours a day. I answer my phone anytime she phones me. All I want for this woman is to get rid of him. Because I know when you don't have anyone to lean on, it's not possible. And that's the purpose of my page. If I can
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you for what you're doing.
help 10 people in my lifetime not to fall for a relationship like that or to get out of a relationship like that healthy, then I'm happy.
Then we hope that your page reaches the right ears and the right people who needs it.
Yes, definitely.
Um, you said that you didn't have any support and that you are scared of them. Did you ever go for medical treatment or open any cases? What was your
Okay.
experience with that?
So at one stage he strangled me a lot. My glands started swelling up in my throat. And ek weet nie wat's verstop in Engels.
Stuffed?
But I couldn't go to the doctor because I had blue marks all over my body. Then eventually when I did go to the doctor, they gave me medication and said it was because of stress, and that's what I told people. I did have a support system. You just don't think that people will support you, or I don't know, you feel verneder. Because
Humiliated.
everybody who knows me knows that I'm a strong person and that I never had any tolerance for women that stayed with men that beat them up. And here I am, the person who always said that I don't have a tolerance for women like that and I don't feel sorry for them. Now I'm in this situation. And I thought that I deserve to be treated like this because I judged other women. That's what I thought for months and months. Once he broke my ribs and cracked my chest bone, and police came by. I ran into the road and I cried and I asked them to please help me. He just beat me up. He ran towards me and started playing the victim and said to the police that I'm lying, I'm not telling the truth. He did nothing wrong. He just wants to take me home. And he had this innocent angel face. I literally lifted my shirt to show them how red my chest was. They laughed at me and drove off. And as soon as they
I
left,
think
he
that must
beat me to
have
the ground again.
infuriated you and made you.
That makes you think that if you tell your story or you go and make a case, you're not going to get anywhere anyway. So why go through the trouble and humiliate yourself?
And what would you tell somebody if they asked you what they should do now? If you could turn back
The,
time, what would you do?
the very, very first time something like that happens, you should know that it's a red flag and it's not going to change. They didn't do it by accident. They did mean it. They made a choice. And as soon as you can, go to the police immediately before it happens again, and then don't go back. You need to make a very solid decision from the beginning. You need to know that he is going to manipulate you. He is going to draw you back in. And as soon as you do, you are not going to have the guts to go to the police after that, because they would immediately ask you, why did you go back? They don't understand narcissistic abuse. They don't understand the love bombing and the trauma bonding afterwards. So they're not trained for that.
Okay, and if I asked you now, if he came knocking on your door tonight, crying, would you take him back?
No. It will be hard.
And how did you get to that point?
Realizing that he cannot be healed. That's it. I cannot fix what I didn't break. That's my motto.
Yeah. You said that you were scared of his parents as well. Why would you be scared of his family?
His father is also a narcissist. He grew up in a house where his dad beat his mom regularly. They would go to strip clubs, leave the kids in the car. The kids would sit in the car the whole night while mom and dad was in strip clubs, and see all kinds of gruesome stuff from prostitutes and people stabbing each other with knives and stuff like that. Him and his brother both have depression. I don't know if the older brother actually has the violent and aggressive side as well, but he's also got very bad depression. He's in and out mental hospitals regularly. His dad has contacts and friends in places where you don't want to have friends and contacts. And I've heard him say that he will not hesitate to have someone taken out if he had to.
Well, doesn't that explain why he is the way he is? Isn't that an excuse for him to be that way?
No. You still have a decision. You still have a choice of who you want to be. We've all got childhood issues. I do. I did. I don't anymore. I see a therapist every week, and that's helped me heal from that. And it's still helping me heal from this. It's helped me heal from my ex-husband. He was never abusive, or we didn't even fight. It was just like an emotionally detached relationship. But I healed from that as well. I can, if I want to, I can also be a nasty person from the stuff that has happened in my life. I choose not to be.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
Nikki, would you like to jump in the box and share your story if you're comfortable?
I think
Does
so,
anybody have questions for Survive and Thrive? Or anybody who wants to jump in the box, you are welcome.
I want to answer Nikki on, she says, I was living with the constant fear of what I'm going to do next to piss him off or say something wrong. That's very true. You eventually walk on eggshells because you just don't know what's going to tick him off, because something that didn't tick him off the day before yesterday now ticks him off, and something that did doesn't anymore. So it constantly changes. And that is something even his ex's dad told me, that his ex was feeling exactly the same way. One day the food would be too salt, and the next day it would be not enough salt. She never knew what was going to irritate him or tick him off.
proud of
and I
you for
will.
sharing your story, and I'm very grateful
I
for
wasn't ready for
sharing
it
your story.
yet, but here I am.
I just want
Oh,
to
look at Marina today.
look at
Yay!
the thank you, Natty, for standing in for me. I'm not going to stay
Welcome.
very long, but
Okay, let me just switch off my camera on quickly
okay. Sure.
while you
um,
are here.
Survive and Thrive. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Um, I'm counseling, but I'm also listening to what you ladies are speaking, and you know what, you should write all of these things down, because when this goes on
Yeah,
to YouTube, I'm going to forward it to some men, and they're going to see that their stories are all the same. They're all crazy. They're all batshit crazy,
exactly.
in fact.
Ah,
that,
yes, I'm being accused of being crazy regularly. I literally sometimes run into people and then they tell me, "But you're so normal. I thought you were crazy." I said, "Well, I'm the crazy ex. Didn't you know? We're all the crazy exes."
all the crazy exes. But it was so
Yeah,
interesting. Survive and Thrive. When you write your book, I want to help you, because it's going to be amazing. You're going to teach so many people so many things. And I was thrilled to
I'm
hear
going
you
to.
say about the mirroring, because you told it exactly the way it was. First, they show you exactly who you want to see, which is yourself.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the women are so uninformed that they don't realize that that part is because that's what's beautiful in them. That's why they're reflecting the beauty back to you. And then
yep,
it turns to the dark mirror, and because that's their reflection.
yep. And the thing is, that's why they start looking for other people as well, is because as soon as you start realizing what they really are and they can't manipulate you anymore, they start discarding you. They start staying away for a few days. They start looking for someone else because now they're mirroring. You are now negative. You're now
Yes,
taking them on about the things they do wrong, and they're mirroring that, and they don't like that because they realize who they are. So they go start looking for the next person who still sees the good in them, so
it,
that he can think he's good again, or
it
she
is.
can think she's good again.
She's
Yeah,
good again. Yeah, it goes both ways, because the men knocks and the lady knocks aren't different. They're just
yeah, totally the
exactly the
same.
same. I just quickly want to talk a little bit about, if you ladies don't mind. I see I have a short break here, about the green screen of tonight. You see, that is Mother Nature, but she represents every woman, every mother. And can you see how broken she is?
That's beautiful.
But can you see inside of her ribs? There's a bird, a mother bird with little birds.
Yeah,
And she's still in her brokenness and in her deathness. She still brings forth light and life. And can you see how the bees are drawn to her to come and make honey inside of her, even
yeah.
from her brokenness? So the reason I chose this was, my daughter actually painted this, but
Oh wow.
yeah, but it's, to me it represents, no matter how battered, broken, or dead you are, you can rise from the dead. So I want to commend you, Survive and Thrive, and Nutty as well. You ladies are life givers, life bringers. Don't
Thank
ever
you.
for 1 second believe that you are too broken to serve. I know that
Thank you.
you I know, Survive and Thrive, you're going to be an awesome counselor. And I know Natty is already, she's like Sy's wy verby goed. But girls, thank you for taking over. I just wanted to pop in since I see that it looks like I have a small break, and I'm not going to stand in your way. Please continue. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
Melinda.
for the rescue, Doc. I appreciate.
I know what that feels like.
So if there's anybody who wants to jump in the box or ask questions, you are welcome. Survivor Tribe, if you've got anything else that you feel you want to share with us, you are welcome.
I can't really think of anything right now. Let me just get, because I do write down in a book all the bad things. But I'm not done yet, so let me just get my book quickly, and then maybe something pops up.
Share with us your thoughts on paper.
The one day my neighbor came to visit, or she didn't come to visit, she was literally just standing outside my door, asking me if I would be able to babysit her dog while she went away for a weekend. And while she was standing here, he pitched up like way earlier than normal, and he had a fight with me because my neighbor was at my house and I didn't tell him that she was coming to visit, even though she didn't come to visit. So that's also a sign. When they start isolating you from people and people are not allowed to visit you when they don't know about it, that's a big red flag.
Okay, so why was he upset? Because the neighbor was there.
I've got no idea. I asked that question so many times. All he said was he wants to know who is with me at all times, so that if something happened to me, then he would know where to go and look for me. The same like when he wanted to know where I was all the time. He also had this crazy idea that every woman has a tendency to be a lesbian, and he wouldn't want me to be put in a position where maybe another man or a woman flirted with me. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous even when I say it.
Yeah, so basically anybody was a threat to him regardless of
Anybody,
who they were.
regardless if it was a woman or a man, yes.
So even if you can randomly speak to somebody on the street and maybe try to help the person, it's going to be a threat.
Yep.
That's very sad.
He believed that anything in this world, I think it's a thing of isolating you so that you don't have too many friends, so that you don't discard them when they're bad or do nasty things to you. They don't want you to have a support system. I think that's what it's actually about.
And then what happened when there were people visiting you, let's say family or somebody, and how would he act in front of them?
His hand would always be on my leg underneath the table, or his fingers would be at a place where people won't see it, like he would hook in his arm so that there's a place where he could actually like press me or push his fingers into me without people seeing. So the one day I had a conversation with my dad after I haven't seen my dad in almost a year. We visited we went away together for Christmas, and he literally pushed blue marks in my leg from trying to get my attention the whole time. I literally had a 5-minute conversation with my dad, then jumped up and said that he's not feeling well, he's going to the tent, and then started WhatsApping me and commanding me to go there immediately as he is having a heart attack, or he thinks he's having a heart attack. So first aggressiveness, and then playing the victim, or do something to make you feel sorry for him. That's when I still believed he had a heart condition. And as soon as I got to the tent, he would say that all my attention was with my family and it's not with him. and I don't care about him, and I know that he needs attention the whole time, and yeah.
So Dane.
Hi, Dane.
Hi, Amal. How's everyone? Hoe gaan het?
Good, and you?
Good, good. Sorry, I jumped in now very late in the conversation, but from what I could hear, not good. And I'm presuming it's in the past.
Yes, it is.
Thank goodness. Yes, you are.
Oh, there's still so many things I can't even think about everything.
Sure. And how long? Sorry, I might be now asking questions that were asked already. How long did you have to endure this with this man?
We were together for 14 months, of which he was like that for about 10, 11 months.
Sure.
10 months. Yeah, 10 months.
And he sounds, well, it seems like he was pretty narcissistic.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about narcissism at all. I didn't know any signs. You watch these movies and you think that people like that only exist in movies until you meet one of them.
Yeah. Until it happens to you, and then you're like, what? This is actually real life. And just for interest's sake, what was the final straw? What made you realize that you were in a toxic relationship? Sorry if you already might have mentioned this.
I knew it was toxic for quite a few months, but I don't know. They keep love bombing you, and they keep reminding you of the person you met and fell in love with. So you keep believing in them, and you start thinking that you owe it to them and yourself to make it better or to help them.
Sure.
And then you just need, when you start educating yourself about these things and opening your eyes, you start realizing that you cannot change them. You cannot help them if they don't want to be helped. The last month, where I gave him 3 more chances, he wasn't actually abusive with me once. He didn't hit me. He didn't strangle me. It was just these silly accusations and constant checking up on me and accusing me of me going to leave him for someone else and stuff like that. And I literally told him the one day that you have put me off men for the rest of my life. And then he started saying that, oh, you're going to leave me for a woman. So they play on your feelings the whole time. And the one night I had to go and fetch him. And when I got there, he was so nasty to me. And I stood there and I started crying. And I said to him, you know what? I'm just not going to do this anymore. So I don't know what flipped. I don't know what happened. My good friend started training me a month before that and started teaching me about narcissism. And I actually started realizing that I can't heal him. I can't help him heal. So I think when he treated me like that night, I just decided, you know what? I need to start realizing that I'm not going to be able to help him or change him, and that I don't deserve to be treated like this. And I just said to him, you know what? You stay here. I'm going home. I'm done. I got in my car and I left and I went home and I cried my eyes out. And I literally sent him messages the next day. Stupid enough. And I think I would have taken him back if he did come back. I would. And then I realized I am going to take him back if I don't get help myself. So I immediately, literally, the day after I left him, I phoned a therapist, a psychiatrist, and I said, please, I need help today, not tomorrow, not the day after, because this is what's going on, and if I don't get help now, I'm going to go back to this guy.
Sure.
And I went for my first session that afternoon.
Because now you basically had to pick up the pieces that he tore apart. You had to start piecing yourself
Yes.
back together.
Yes. It's literally
And
like building a puzzle, trying to find pieces of yourself again.
sure. Yeah, and that's not
Did
something
you?
that gets healed overnight.
No, I won't go
I
back
just want.
at all. I know that, but you still long for them. You still miss them, and that is a lot of hard work to force yourself not to contact them. I literally blocked him and his family everywhere. Um, and every time I think of unblocking or sending a message, I remind myself of the bad things. That's why I write it down. I go and I actually read all these things that he did to me, all these things that he said to me, all the things that he accused me of. And that's basically your lifeline. The hate, the anger, is your lifeline for staying away and not going back.
Sure.
I just want to ask, did you celebrate the small steps and the small victories that you have achieved since you left, like going to see somebody to get help and starting to love yourself? Do you celebrate
Yes,
those things and do you feel proud of yourself for doing that?
I do that. I celebrate every single thing.
That's awesome.
I don't I don't only have a list of the bad things that he did to me, I also have a list of achievements. So small things like in the beginning, um, there was a time when he would fight so much at night that I can't even go and shower because he would refuse to go with me, and I was too scared to go alone because I know what would happen. So then you don't shower, and the next day you wake up for work and you know you have to go and shower, but you can't because he doesn't want to wake up. And what are you going to do? So I've started getting very bad anxiety. I still do have it a bit. It's getting better now, but I do still have it. And then the one morning I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to get in the shower because I can't be late for work again. And he woke up while I was in the shower, ripped the shower door open, literally pulled me with force out of the shower, threw me on the floor, and said to me, why didn't I wake him up to go and shower? What do I want to do? So in the beginning, just after I left him, like going to the shower, it felt like somebody was looking at me the whole time, and I would constantly open the shower door just to see if maybe he didn't break open a door and come in and was watching me or something. It was hard to go and shower. And the first day that I was able to shower without being scared, I celebrated it. And now I lie in the bath for hours at a time just because I can.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a very good thing to, as you say, keep the bad in mind, but also celebrate the achievements. That's a very good thing
Yeah.
that's going to help you heal, especially when it comes to dealing with the post-traumatic experience. The experiences you had that caused trauma, the pieces you have to pick up, the anxiety that it caused, those little milestones, like you said, even just now, being comfortable having a bath on your own, it's no longer a trigger of what happened. It's now a sense of relaxing and unwinding. And that's also a very, very good step towards healing because you're overcoming what was a trigger, what was a trauma, and reinforcing it into saying, but this is something to enjoy. And that is, it's in my past. And that's where most people who have been through trauma, they struggle to let go of the traumatic experiences because they do not know how to work on those triggers. They don't have a frame of reference. We're achieving milestones and, congratulating yourself, even in the little things. it's an excellent way of reinforcing that path towards healing.
Definitely.
I want to, I don't know if I should, but I have to mention it. I didn't want to, but I think I do. So, I love salad. Cucumber, tomato, cheese, green peppers, anything you can put in it. So, his parents are very fond of their, I don't know, can I name it? Nothing. Toys.
Just re-paraphrase it in a way that's not going to
Yeah.
get us reported.
Okay. Toys that couples use and people use and all that. He hates it. So anything that looks or feels or seems in his mind like something like that, he despises. So I wasn't allowed to buy cucumber. I literally started crying the one day in Pick and Pay because I wanted salad, but I know I can't take the cucumber off the shelf because it would trigger him. And he asked me, why are you crying? And I said to him, this is why I'm crying. And he said to me, but take the cucumber, we'll make salad. And when we got home, he literally cut up that whole cucumber. And about a week after I left him, I felt like salad. And I went to the store. And I didn't even think about cucumber because, I mean, it's something I put out of my mind for a long time. And when I walked past the cucumbers, just to be able to actually pick it up and pay for it without being scared.
Sure. Just buying
In a
a
way,
cucumber.
something so simple that people take for granted, but because you've been through that kind of abuse where control was such a dominating factor, you were controlled in how you could feel, how you could act, what you should do. It's just so sickening, actually, to think of it.
Are you okay?
So the first thing I celebrated after leaving was buying a freaking cucumber.
Did you enjoy the cucumber? Did you enjoy your salad?
Yes.
Awesome. So
I
I hope
still
it's
eat
happy
salad
tears
every
that
day.
you are crying. I hope it's happy tears.
Every time I pick up the cucumber out of the fridge, I'm like, stuff you, you asshole.
Exactly. You should. Unfortunately, you blocked him. Otherwise, you could have taken a photo of the cucumber for him and put it on your status.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very small things like that afterwards you don't realize because you're in survival mode while you're with them, you compromise and you avoid things that would trigger them. So you're just in survival mode and you're just going on. And then afterwards, when small things like that happen without you realizing it, it hits you. So the aftermath is actually a lot worse than while you're in the relationship with them, to be honest. Because things like this come up all the time and it triggers you the whole time. And what I've done is, like with the cucumber, I make a point of always having cucumber in my house because I can.
Madeleine says, I was so scared to go to sleep when he drank.
Did he get abusive when he drank only?
Hi, Madeleine.
Hello.
Madeleine.
Hello.
How are you?
Ek het nou net English or Afrikaans.
Al twee.
Yeah, anyone goes, it's fine. Crystal will translate
ek
where
het
she can.
Or English.
Ek het nou net die live gejoin, so jy op die einde van Survive. Wat is jou naam? Moet ek maar sê Survive.
Survive and thrive.
Okay.
Nou,
Ja, ek is ook deur Else narcissistiese hel, kan ek maar so sê, monster, want dis wat hy is, hy was 'n monster. En ek was, as hy gedrink het, was ek doodbang om te gaan slaap. Want ek weet nie wanneer hy my uit die bed uit gaan ruk nie. En my dan beskuldig met al wat broek dra en ek was selfs met vrouens beskuldig. Ek mag nie geslaap het nie. En ek het gewerk en ek mag nie geslaap het sy gedrink het nie.
het ons dieselfde ou gedate.
Wel, ek weet nie van waar is jy.
Ek het baie min geslaap en ek het baie rude awakenings gehad.
Jy het al my ex-man gedate, hoor, ekskuus.
Okay, wel, apparently my
Nee, daai-
ook, julle.
Wel, ek moet vir julle sê dat hy gaan nooit ooit weer 'n vrou deur daai hel kan sit nie, want hy is Julie oorlede. Maar toe is ek nou al klaar weg van hom af. Ek moes fisies uit Kreersdorp uit wegtrek Bloemfontein toe om weg te kom. En ek het hom in 2018 gelos, maar hy het om ingewurm. Jy weet, as jy net 'n narcissist los, het hulle nog daai hou vas op jou, daai manipulasie op jou, en al hoe ek dit kon breek, want as ek my oë uitgevee het, was hy daar, dan is dit net 1 of 2 aande, want hy het nie krag nie, en hy het nie water nie, en hy wil net kom bad, en so, ja, ek het moes heeltemal wegtrek. Ek het baie goeie werk gehad, ek was my eie plek gehad en alles, en ek moes Bloemfontein toe kom, waar ek nou weer sonder werk sit, maar die Here is goed vir my, laat ek dit asseblief net by sê, die Here is baie goed vir my.
Hulle los nie sommer nie. Ek het Vrydag besef, vir die eerste keer, dat hy van verlede jaar November af my foon met sy Gmail account sync elke paar dae. En hy doen dit nog steeds.
Jo,
Ek het al my passwords verander. Ek weet nie, hy kom nog steeds in. As ek sien, dis al van my contacts van my foon af, my Facebook friends weg. Ek het nou alle devices van my foon afgeskop en weer my passwords verander. Ek het een aand gedink, hier's iemand by my voordeur, is soos 'n skelm of 'n ding, en ons het actually begin extra ligte opsit hier, ek en my buurvrou, en toe ek gaan kyk na die sinks, toe was dit hy wat daai aand op my stoep was, want my foon sink net met syne wanneer hy naby my is. So die ou met die flashlight was net hy wat hier op my stoep gestaan het, want my foon het met hom gesink daai selfde tyd. Selfde tyd.
jo,
En toe besef ek ook dat hy by my werk rond beweeg, want daar is seker maklik 6-7 keer in die laaste 2 maande wat my foon met sy Gmail account gesink het, terwyl ek by die werk ook was.
hulle is erg, hulle is erg,
So hy weet alles wat in my lewe aangaan.
ja, en die protection order, my protection order wat ek gekry het my niks gehelp nie. Niks.
Ek gaan nie myself straf om in die hof te gaan staan en vir hom te kyk nie. Ek sal eerder boor om ry met my kar skies.
My skat, hy sal nie opdaag by die hof, hoor, hulle daag nooit op nie. Nattie, sê, hulle daag nie op nie, hulle is te bang.
Hulle is 'n familie, my dokter.
Ja, is 'n snaakse familie. Sy pa sal sorg dat hy opdaag en sy pa sal saam met hom opdaag.
Nou
Is mooi.
is sy pa, Ekskuus dat ek vra, is sy pa vir jou survive of teen jou?
Was vir my gewees, totdat ek teen hulle begin opstaan het. Nou teen my. Maar sy pa
Okay.
is ook 'n narcis, en alles wat hy doen, is wat sy pa doen. Ja.
Ja.
Hulle goed
Dan
is.
daar 'n ander ding wat ek wil vra. En ek dink ons is almal deur narcissistiese verhoudings, ek weet nie van jou nie, Dane, maar jy's 'n counselor, en
Gelukkig nie.
maar het hulle hoe moet ek dit sê, dis moeilik om dit te sê, gedwing om seks te hê. Jy sê nee en jy sê nee, en hulle gaan so aan dat jy dit, okay, doen dit net en dit kry net klaar.
Ja. Die enigste manier hoe hy gevoel het hy kan liefde betoon, of hy's jammer, of so, ja.
Weet jy, ek het ook so gedink op 'n
recording
stadium met
waar hy vir my sê, trek uit jou klere. Dan sê ek vir hom nee. Dan sê hy vir my, trek uit jou klere, dan sê ek vir hom nee. Dan draai dit in 'n fight uit, en eventually gee hy net op.
net dat dit kan ophou.
Dat hy net kan stil bly, ja.
Dit is verkrachting. En ja.
Dis asof jy nie meer, julle sal vir my nou korrek me if I'm wrong, dis nie asof jy meer mens is nie, jy's 'n objek van hulle.
Ja. Niks aan jou lyf is
Baie
joune nie,
beslis.
alles is syne, hy sê dit ook. Hy het dit vir my gesê ook.
Ja.
My hond mag nie op my skoot gesit het nie, want dit is syne. My hond mag nie langs my gelê het nie, want dan raak die hond aan my, en dit is syne. Jy is hulle possession.
Ja,
Sure.
totally, totaal en al. En hulle sê dit vir jou ook. Dis myne, en sonder my gaan jy niks in die lewe bereik nie. Jy sal vergaan sonder my, want ek is die enigste een wat vir jou lief is, en niemand anders gaan vir jou lief word nie, en
Ek mag nie eens my lyf room gesmeer het nie. Ek moet hom vra om my lyf room te smeer, want dan vat ek aan wat syne is.
wow, dis erg.
En hy sal dit sê.
Dis bad.
Hy sal, sy woorde altyd was, my goed is my goed.
En toe jy nou besluit om hom te los, het hy obviously jammer gesê en beloftes gemaak. Ek bedoel, dit is deel van hulle nature. Wat my sterk gemaak het, is voordat ek dit luister.
Die eerste 100 keer ja. Die laaste keer was letterlik 'n week en 'n half. En ek het 'n baie lang gesprek met hom gehad, en ek het vir hom gesê dat dit klaar, en ek het ook toe hy teruggekom het ek niks getolereer nie, want ek het klaar afgesny eintlik. En so hy kon sien dit is sy laaste kans. So toe ek daar weggery het hy my uitgelos. Hy stalk my nog, maar hy het nie meer jammer gesê en hy wil terugkom nie. Hy sou simpel indiscreet goedjies doen, soos om of discreet goedjies doen, soos om 'n liedjie te stuur van hoekom hy doen wat hy doen en hoekom hy is wat hy is, en sulke tipe van hints. Ons het mekaar eendag raak geloop in 'n plek uit. Ek en 'n vriendin het by 'n plek gesit en iets geëet en gedrink, en hy het ek weet nie hoe hy geweet dat ek nie by die huis is of wat, ek kan nie obviously seker maar omdat hy my foon trek. En hy het gekom presies waar ek is, en hy het oorkant my kom sing en vir my liedjie begin sing wat hy altyd vir my sing, en ek het voor al die mense vir hom gekyk en vir hom gesê, jy kan nou dadelik ophou want dit werk nie meer op my nie. En toe gaan ek huis toe. En toe stuur hy na die tyd vir my 'n boodskap en sê dit was lelik. So hy het op daai manier nog my probeer manipuleer, maar ek het die hele tyd net vir hom gesê dit werk nie meer op my nie. Hou op. Dis klaar.
Ja. Dit is jy verlaat emosioneel die relationship lank voordat jy fisies wegtrek. En toe ek besef ek is emosioneel nie meer betrokke in hierdie verhouding nie, het ek begin op my regte staan en ek het gesuffer, ek het hel gehad as ek op my punte staan en toe ek bedank het en hy het my gesmeek en gesoebat om die bedanking terugkry en hy sal verander en hy sal vir my sorg en nadat hy my alles in my blad verloor het, by the way, en hy het nie werk nie en al sulke goeders, het ek hy het die manier gehad, as ek wil TV kyk en ek wil 'n program kyk, dan het hy voor die TV gaan staan. Even though ons nie in 'n verhouding was en goed nie. En maar toe ek begin sterker raak en het ek vir hom gesê, weet jy wat, ek is nie lief vir jou nie, ja maar jy sal my weer lief kry, ek sal laat jy my weer lief kry, daai tipe van goeders, en dan het hy ook dan huil hy dan dit was seker
dit is ugly crying skree huil
nee, dis daai soos as 'n kind homself jammer kry so huil en dan sê hy, maar niemand is lief vir hom nie en hy weet nie wat gaan hy sonder my doen nie, maar met the meantime het hy supply gehad, backup gehad. Jy verstaan?
They always do.
They always do. They always have backup.
There's always a supply waiting.
Yes, maar vir jou sê toe ek begin boundaries neerlê en ek hou by my boundaries. Wow. Dit was awesome gevoel.
Dit was so ek my boundaries begin neerlê het en rarig op my twee agtervoete begin staan het 'n week en 'n half. Te beweeg aan my aan sy backup toe.
Maar nog steeds nie uitgelos nie. Nee, ek is toe die oggend wat ek getrek het hy nog gehuil. My dogter toe sê sy vir hom, jy kan nou maar ophou huil. Hulle het altyd vir hom gesê, oom, daai is niks respek nie. Sy het gesê, jy kan nou maar ophou huil asseblief. Jy gaan my ma nooit weer seermaak nie.
Ja. Dis soos 'n switch wat aangaan.
Ja. Ja, ek het nou genoeg gepraat. Maar ja, jy sal, ek is mal oor jou video's ook, Survive. Ek het ook begin met TikTok begin met sulke tipe van, dit het my self-healing gehelp. Ja, met sulke tipe video's. Dit doen, nee.
En as jy op daai page gaan en jy sien daar is 30,000 mense wat daai ding gesien het, is dit soos voedsel vir jou siel. Want jy weet 30,000 mense het daai boodskap gekry. Ja. Maar okay, ek wil maar net so vinnig net so ingeloer het en net gaan hallo gesê het en so aan en op my eiertjie gelê het.
Ek
was altyd interesseer waarvoor. Marinda.
Julle baie.
Ek weet nie waar jy is nie, rook jy?
Nee, ek
weet dit is nog gebese.
Cancel.
Natina en almal van julle, baie dankie dat ek net so vinnig kon interrupt hierso. En Survive. Awesome sterkte vir jou. You're gonna make it, girl. You're a queen and a warrior.
Dankie Madeleine.
Dankie Madeleine. Sjoe. Ek wonder Hester, met so narcissistiese verhouding, as jy hulle nie verloor aan die dood nie, hoe lank vat dit? Ek wonder of daar statistieke is om van hulle ontslae te raak, if you even get rid of them.
I don't think you do.
Ek dink dit is al
Hy
altyd
stalk nog steeds sy ex van 5 jaar terug.
What? So jy's nie die enigste een wat hy cyber stalk en my goodness.
Nee, en ek het nou die dag net in 'n winkel ingestap en goed gekoop en toe keer 'n vrou my voor en sy sê vir my, ek hoor jy is ontslae van daai vark. Ek sê vir ja. Toe sê sy vir my, hy het my dogter gedate, ek wil asseblief 'n koffiedate met jou reël. So ek dink daar gaan meer uitkom as wat ek dink. Ek weet van, saam met my is dit 4 vrouens met wie presies dieselfde gebeur het. Hy's nou by die 5de een, maar ek dink daar's nog, om eerlik te wees.
Sure.
En ek sê nee. Mense kontak my en as hulle vir my sê hulle vir my kontak, dan sê ek is reg, ek ontmoet jou. Want op die einde van die dag besef jy net, it's not you. Hierdie goed het my actually gehelp om te besef dat ek is nie die een wat dit veroorsaak het nie. Ek is nie die een wat hom so gemaak het nie. He's been doing this for years. Want jy gaan deur self-loathing, jy haat jouself. Jy's kwaad vir jouself omdat jy die goed toegelaat het. Jy's kwaad vir jouself omdat jy hom mis. Jy's kwaad vir jouself omdat jy die goeie goed onthou. Maar op die einde van die dag moet jy besef dat jy net nog een van die statistieke is.
Sure. En ek dink dit is
Dis 'n
it's a big realization ook om agter te kom, maar hoorie, die fout lê nie by my nie. Die fout lê by jou, van daar's 'n patroon.
Ja. 14 maande, Madeleine, ek sien sy vrou lank.
Sure. Ek is bly jy is daarom deur dit survive and thrive en dat jy letterlik survive and thrive en dat jy nou 'n voorbeeld kan wees vir ander vrouens wat dieselfde is, dat jy hulle kan waarsku. Want ek sê often the best treatment is prevention.
Ja.
As jy iets kan prevent, is die beste behandeling. Vir alles
Ja,
jy iemand
dit is
kan help
die-
en sê, let op na die warning signs. Wees bewus.
Dit is die doel van my page eintlik, is om mense te help wat reeds daardeur is, of om daar uit te kom, maar ook sodat om mense bewus te maak van tekens en hoe hulle reageer, wat se tipe mense hulle is, wat se tipe goed hulle doen, om te keer dat jy in so iets ingaan in die eerste plek.
Dis excellent. That's something that's really needed. Want daar's 'n dokter wat ek baie van hou, wat gesê het ook, we live in a narcissistic society.
Dis scary.
Madeleine sê, my ma was 'n narcissist, my ex-man, en die man waarvan ek gepraat het. So jy het 'n triple whammy of narcissism gehad. En nog steeds
Dis al wat
kies jy om net mooi te wees en te straal van binne af. Dit is amazing.
Sure.
Wat ek agtergekom het, soos ek met mense begin praat het en goed is, mense wat ouers het wat narciste is, it's what they know. So hulle val maklik in so 'n verhouding in, want hulle dink dit is normaal.
Ja.
En dis baie
You
sad.
normalize the chaos and the abuse as love.
Ja.
Veral daai emotional manipulation. Jy begin dit vroeg sien as liefde en dan doen hulle presies dieselfde in verhoudings en jou love map is nou gevorm en jy dink dis nou wat liefde is.
Ja. Daar is iets wat ek wil sê. En dis iets wat ek nou geleer het nadat ek uit dit uit is. As jy uit so 'n verhouding uitkom, voel jy baie rejected. En obviously is jou selfbeeld heeltemal daarmee in. Baie maklik om sommer net vinnig weer vir iemand te val, om jouself te probeer aanvul, of om jouself beter te laat voel, of om van daai te probeer vergeet. Do not do that.
Ja.
Jy moet self gesond word, jy moet leer om jouself lief te hê, jy moet leer om niemand nodig te hê nie, voordat jy weer in 'n verhouding ingaan.
Dis waar.
Sure.
Baie waar. Okay, julle manne en manninne, dit is nou amptelik 'n minuut oor 9 en tyd vir die nuus deur Dr. Dane.